have a bit different question, but I like to raise it in this room. And it's what's the importance of the matrix that you have your probiotic in when you're doing your studies? I think we are making studies on capsules and yogurts and fruit juices and so on. And we are thinking a lot about this. Can we transfer knowledge from the use of one product to another, or how could we transfer it, or do we need to do new studies with the probiotic bacteria in other matrices?
I don't know whether I would am the most qualified person to answer it, but I can try. In my view, there are this issue has two sides. First, the food matrix used to deliver your probiotic, yogurt or anything. But the other thing is the background diet. Because the bacteria may be in a yogurt surrounding, when you consume them, they are admixed, so as to say, with the rest of your diet. And both aspects will be important, may be important for functionality of probiotics, because they can and will regulate gene expression levels. I gave you one example. Yeah? But I think that this is ultimately complicated because you have your complete gastrointestinal tract with 100 or 1,000 different niches, and at each one of them the conditions may differ, and therefore the gene expression level may differ. And it's the total effect what counts. So it will be difficult, I guess, to design there the real informative experiment.
Well, I would like to widen a little bit your question. We were together in the first European project, you remember, and then we have discussed with some scientific officer of EFSA about another problem, but it comprises your question. And the problem is the bioequivalence of probiotics. Because as far as the probiotic action is strain-specific, it turns that each claim will be proprietary. So there will not generic claim for probiotic. And this is a political problem, because if you don't have the property of this strain, then you cannot use the claim. And so we have asked to the scientific officer, how can we measure, can we demonstrate the bioequivalence? Bioequivalence could be used for drugs, for out-of-patent drugs. And they say, oh God, not also this problem. We have already a lot of problems, but this is a problem. And it's also applied to your question. How can we demonstrate the bioequivalence of a bag of the same amount of bacteria administered in yogurt, in capsule, and so on? This is another question to be raised to the Commission, because otherwise the probiotics are rather spatial. No generic claims, no bioequivalence. So this is something to be discussed in the future.
Just a small comment also to that question. There is also the good message in the slides which Ger showed on this biofunctionality of the different strains and how they were mid-lock and versus dead and alive. We also showed that actually the dead bacteria were very active and nearly as active and nearly the same pattern of activity for that specific strain WCFS1. Lactobacillus plantarum, were nearly the same specificity and same functionality as the live one. So that makes life perhaps a little bit easier. So it's not that much important as we thought for 5 years ago, whether a probioticum still was alive when it passed the pylorus. I think it's not that important. Still, of course, 90% doesn't survive. So we are mainly working with dead bacteria.